We know there are a lot of benefits to keeping information in SharePoint, not the least of which is having a single central location where data is stored and everyone can access it. That remains true for library content. We may know how to open a Word or a PowerPoint file from SharePoint, but how do we use a single slide from a slide library? Let's start from an actual PowerPoint presentation. Let's say that we know that there is a slide that we want to use in a presentation. Now, what I'm going to do real quick is just delete this one slide so we don't have it in here twice. We've decided, though, that we want to use that particular slide. Hopefully, if you're familiar with PowerPoint, you know that from the Home tab, there's a new slide option. And from the new slide option, you have a variety of different layouts. One of the options at the very bottom is to reuse slides. When you select that option, you get a panel on the right-hand side of your screen. What you need to do is make sure that you have the proper library selected. This again could be where you need to navigate or possibly even do a copy and paste. There are two options because you can browse for files just from regular files like you used to do. Open up an old file and copy and paste. We want to use the first option, which is Browse Slide Library. I already copied the URL of our slide library, so I'm simply going to press Ctrl-V as in Victor to paste that into this window. That's not exactly where we wanted to go. I pasted it there first so you could see it. What we really want to do is paste that up here where it says Insert Slides From. But this is a small section, so I don't like to just paste it and not show you what we're working with. Now I'll paste that in, click on the arrow. It's going to go out, access our SharePoint site, and show us any of the slides in that slide library in this panel. There are the two slides that were in our library. We can pause over a slide to see information about it. Notice at the bottom that there are a couple of check marks to be aware of. You can keep the source formatting and have it not match the destination where you're putting it, or you can have it go ahead and be dynamic and take in the formatting. This is the important checkbox that we haven't seen before. Tell me when this slide changes. If you do not check that, you're basically doing a copy and paste, and the slide in this presentation will be not joined to the one in SharePoint, just a copy and paste. If you do check this box, it's more of a paste link. If anybody changes the slide in the slide library, then the next time you open this presentation, it will come up with a message saying one or more of your slides has changed. It will show you what it is, and it will say, do you want me to update it with the current version or keep the old one that you had? It does always give you a choice. But how cool is this that you don't have to try to keep track of whether a logo gets updated or somebody that's your CEO or CFO changes in an org chart? This is truly where the power comes into using slide libraries. So we're going to say we do want to know when the slide changes. We're going to select our second slide, wait for just a couple of seconds as it copies and makes all of those links, and this is now our new slide. Because we checked the box, it will do all of the work for us. We simply continue to work with anything, any way that we have, and SharePoint will notify us when we open this file if this slide has been modified. The very last thing about slide libraries is quick and easy to go over, and that is if you haven't started a file yet, and you say, I know that I need to make a new PowerPoint presentation that utilizes this org chart. You can come into the library, select as many different slides as you want, and then from the very top of the library, choose Copy Slide to Presentation. It's going to give you the option of copying it to a brand new presentation or to any one of the presentations you currently have open. Now, since we already have that slide in here, I'm going to say Copy to a new presentation. But also notice the other two options that you have that we saw before. Do you want to keep the source presentation format and or do you want to be told when the slide changes? Choose those as appropriate, click or tap OK, and it will take just a couple seconds or longer, depending on how many slides you have, to create a brand new presentation, and you can hit the ground running with slides already in place. I absolutely love slide libraries, and I guess I get very excited about it because, first of all, it's something not a lot of people know about, and I don't like it when people don't know about the cool stuff they can do. But more importantly, because it's just part of this whole bigger picture of how SharePoint can make life easier, bring things together, and take what we've been doing sometimes for 20 years the hard way, simplify it, streamline it, make it more consistent and more efficient. And it's not just slide libraries that do that, of course. Our picture libraries do that, And of course, our document libraries do it with a whole other set of features that we can use every day. What you now know, though, is that there will always be files that are created outside of SharePoint, but they can be uploaded to SharePoint in order to take full advantage of all of SharePoint's benefits, no matter what kind of file it is, and to a variety of different types of libraries. Files can be uploaded one at a time or in batches, whichever you prefer. When uploading files, you have to include all of the required SharePoint columns. Now, we didn't have any custom columns in our libraries, so we didn't necessarily see that. But what we did see is when we upload a file, it displays the file properties. That's where you can fill in any missing data. That's what happens when you upload a single file. If you were uploading multiple files, say maybe 100 files at once, SharePoint's not going to open up 100 different property boxes. So instead, what it will do is it will upload the files, and if any are missing required data, not just properties, but required data, those are going to be marked as checked out. Now, you might need to go back and review what check-in and check-out means, and we actually have some videos that demonstrate how to work with that. So if you need clarification, there are some things you can look at. But that's what SharePoint does to say, you know what, I'm going to let you upload all those files, but since they're kind of breaking a rule, I'm not going to let anybody else see them until you basically fix everything and make them correct. It doesn't really matter if there are required properties missing or not. In my maybe not so humble opinion, you should be viewing a file's properties all the time after uploading and making sure that they are complete and accurate. SharePoint will notify you if at any point during the process a file is either too large or of a blocked file type, or if it encounters any kind of an error during upload. If that happens, you either need to fix it, or if it's an error, just try it again. We've also learned that uploading to libraries from within SharePoint is always pretty much the same basic process, no matter what kind of file it is. Files can be viewed and then either edited or even used in other files from the library, or often from within Microsoft Office as well. Now you're starting to get a strong feeling for the really powerful features that are very similar to what you've always done, but give you some extra added benefits. The benefits of using SharePoint as a collaboration tool, as a common platform for working with all of the many things you need to work with, primarily in this case, through libraries.